All right, so moments ago I switched out some cards. They're literally sitting on the side. I was gonna show them, but then I just forgot to, and they're really not important because they're not a part of the deck anymore, I guess. And maybe be like, well, what were they? And maybe they actually were better to leave in there or whatever. But originally, I didn't realize the difference between copying and casting spells. So when it was, I mean, this was like way back when I originally made this deck. One of a predominant YouTube, like Magic the Gathering YouTuber, might have been Tomer, might have been Joey. Tomer of MTG Goldfish, and then I think Joey of CEDH Rec, I can't remember, but one of them, I think it was Joey, but he said, he mentioned something about what Stella does, you know, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And I really like playing like that sometimes, just like this, you know, it's an infinite combo deck, and it is a lot, very reliant on her staying alive, but yeah, so I mean, I looked up some cards on you know, I mean, I also, like, a lot of times, you know, you just literally go into gatherer.com. I mean, I literally went on Gatherer and I just type in the keywords, which sometimes I'm sure doesn't even show every single fucking card available or whatever. And then I just some cards that I have available. I'll get into what all these cards do in a second. I'm just showing off, I guess, the paper form of what I own. There's nothing wrong with, you know, having digital cards or whatever. I mean, technically just like, as cool as it is, that physical stuff, you know, I mean, obviously it is, you know, it's gonna be trash one day. Let's be real. I mean, it's awesome. You know, some of it should be in a museum or whatever, but yeah, a lot of it's gonna end up as trash. But anyway, I mean, that's just. But you know, with that being said, I like owning. You know, I like owning physical comic books and stuff, or you know, having physical records or whatever. You know, I like playing physical instruments personally, just in my opinion. But anyway, just, you know, realistically, you know, digital is kind of, you know, anyway, I don't mean to go off tangent. So, yeah, and I'm not like showing off like, look at how cool or how much money I put into this fucking, I mean, I recklessly spent a bunch of money. I mean, last year, like I bought all the commander decks for the Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I bought a bunch, I mean, like, et cetera, et cetera. I just, and I wasn't really, I mean, I didn't really care until I guess someone stumbled the idea of how impressive this card could be. And sometimes, you know, even when someone expresses how impressive a card can be, you're still like, whatever. But I mean, just once again, this is, I guess, more of my play style or whatever, just really fast. And I mean, people who know Stella Lee are already going to expect her. I mean, what's going to I would say a lot of, I mean, there are plenty of decks, I mean, of every color that can go off pretty fast. I would say maybe, well, I mean, I think black and white are typically the slower of the bunch. Red's pretty on impulse. Blue's also pretty slow too. But there are a lot of cheap blue spells too that can just be straight up annoying or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I mean, I also just I try to stick to as I did with my last deck, or with most of my decks, I try to do low casting mana cost or whatever, CMCs or whatever, converted mana, whatever the fuck the thing is. Just because even in late games, you know what I mean? I guess late games, you know, you want big movements and big finishers or whatever, big moments, whatever. Big movements coming out of your ass. I mean, she can act. She's pretty versatile. This, at least with this deck, I would say Stella Lee in general is pretty versatile with how I'm. Like I'm trying to explain how I. Yeah, she's just very versatile. She can be like kind of like what is the fucking Voltron, I guess, of sorts. You know, you can make her fucking infinite with trample. You can fucking. I have some other ways of making a fuck ton of creatures well, with that one merfolk, I can't remember his name. We'll talk about him later. See, I mean, there's also, I have many ways of implementing attack phases over and over and over again. So drawing my deck out, like I said, infinite mana, if I haven't mentioned that. Even scrying your entire deck. Sometimes, I mean, it'd be interesting, just literally just looking at through all 100 cards, not even moving any of the cards. Just like, hey man, I'm just gonna look through my deck, and I can just literally do that, and just know what's coming next, and just, you know what I mean, it's whatever. I could move things around, maybe I won't. You know what I mean? And then I don't have all the tokens yet, probably, or maybe I do have all the tokens. I changed some stuff out, so I don't know. And then I've never used any of these bounty cards, so I'm not familiar. I mean, obviously it explains what they do or whatever, but once when this video ends, I mean, I'm literally watching it on my phone, because I think literally the last time I tried watching it on my laptop with the first video or whatever, it fucked up the thing I was recording. I mean, I usually use Audacity to record. So we are now going to go to Archdeck. I'm going to take a little break just so, because I mean, I do this all literally improv, and it's probably not the smartest, and I'll, you know, I mean, you sometimes have to redo it. And I'm kind of glad long story short, I don't even want to get it, just long story short, like, I'm glad I messed up earlier in the day, because how the deck was originally, it was not good. Honestly, I mean, it was okay. Maybe it was better. Maybe it is better. I don't know, but we'll see in a second. I'll explain what it does. So let me just take a break real quick. All right. So we are now on Archdeck, or I'm on Archdeck, and I guess if you're watching this video, you are now watching me, I guess, on Archdeck. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, so I mean, if you want to find it, I'm probably gonna once again have the link in the bio or whatever. You could find it also by, you know, this is my band name or whatever. I don't fucking know. So I don't know if I spent exactly, I mean, I probably did spend around that much money. I mean, for this deck anyway, once when I found out what Stella Lee can do, like some people had mentioned I was at the Commander Night or whatever, and how great she was, and it didn't click for me until, I don't know. So anyway, I guess the salt is very low. It's actually lower than the median or whatever of what decks typically can be, which is crazy to me, because this deck would be, I mean, I guess it's salty. I mean, it's too late to be salty because it's over by the time it happens. But like, if anyone who knows who Stella Lee is or whatever, and if you ever play this deck again and you see how it goes off or whatever, which it can go off pretty fast based on, once again, how quickly the ramping is or whatever. I mean, it's a salty deck, man. Let's just be honest, man. Like, it's crazy that people don't, unless I'm not reading the cards right. But as far as I'm reading, like, because I've also looked at I've looked at some tech decks and stuff, and so there's going to be a lot of similarities. But at the same time, though, I kind of definitely added my own little thing. So in the descriptor or the details or hashtags or whatever, it's Spellslinger, which I believe that's spells. I think it is a Spellslinger, because it definitely, you know, I'm going to be slinging out all my spells pretty quickly. Just like with my Reese the Redeemed, it's all like just about trying to get everything out all at once. Like, just playing your deck out as fast as possible. Ramp like a motherfucker. You know, mana's a resource. And then spell copy, just because, you know, it's a spell. It's, you know, specifically, it's probably, I tried looking instant and sorcery, but I think it's Spellslinger. I don't know. Anyway, it is spell copy technically. Starting with Stella Lee wildcard. The first ability I actually I always forget about. But technically this would help you lean into the next, the final ability. So I'm always worried, like, how am I going to be able to cast 3 spells? But it's like, she helps you with the casting that third spell. It's basically like a buy 2, get 1 free kind of coupon. But whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that spell or play that card. So it's each turn. So I mean, like, literally, if you're able to play a bunch of spells on other people's turns, you could literally, as far as exile the top card until till your next turn. So actually, it might not be a good idea. I don't know. If you have the mana anyway. But you could potentially win on other people's turns too. So, just straight up wild card, people won't even expect it. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control when you tap her. You may choose new targets for the copy. Activate only if you've cast 3 or more spells this turn. So once again, we'll get into it in a second, but I explain at least what she does. If you're not too familiar, once again, I guess real quickly, if you're able to cast instant or sorcery spells to untap her, you can just keep copying that spell over and over and over and over and over again. And some of these spells are really good to copy over and over and over again. Guttersnipe I actually left in because if you draw out your entire deck, literally you can drop him and then ping everybody, and you just cast 20 spells right there. But if you have infinite mana as well, so which typically, once again, if I can draw out my entire deck, I probably have both. And if I have infinite mana, it's not too far off to being able to draw my entire deck out. It is definitely solving a puzzle as fast as possible, and it does take a lot of time. There's a lot of if I play this deck more and more, maybe I'll figure it out more. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Guttersnipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. So that's not bad. Obviously, it's not the same as copying. There might be some better cards out there. So if you know any, whatever, recommend it. That'd be awesome. Probably won't get around to it at any point. I'll put it on a list. But list of things to buy later. Arcane Bombardment, I feel like is one of the cards I would keep as a later in the game, like Stella, just like she tried fucking, I don't know. I don't know if I'd play my entire deck out. It depends on the situation. I'll probably learn to hold back maybe in the future, maybe not. Because I'm sure once again, how I play, it's just literally draw out the entire deck and then go from there. But at the same time, though, it depends on the situation. But whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard, then copy each card exiled with Arcane Bombardment. You may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. So, I didn't, as I read that, I don't even want to, I already just read it out. I guess, all right. When you cast from you exile, exile, yeah. Okay, yeah, and then copy each. All right. So this is once again, it's a late game thing. But at the same time, it would be you are building up. So it's just it's nice to have on the field and hopefully it doesn't get destroyed or whatever. But it is definitely, in my opinion, still a late game thing. The way I built this deck around, it's more getting it out fast. This one just kind of is more of a momentum. Just in case, if the tempo is too fast, we can at least have something like a backup plan of sorts. Once again, I read it out, and if you really need that to be explained out to you, then you need help. Maybe, I don't know. So Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker, he's more, I guess he's kind of like my token generator of sorts. Because I had another dude, I can't remember where he is, but yeah, I was gonna take him out, but then I was like, oh yeah, you can just do that. So you can just, as long as it's not a legendary creature, you can just copy any of them. So literally I could copy a bunch of Guttersnipes. Well, actually, yeah, because the way the deck's built, I can constantly untap it and tap Kiki-Jiki as well. I'll explain in a second. Arcane Bombardment would kind of, that would be, I guess, anyway. Najal or not? I'm pretty sure it's Najal or not. Najal. I'm pretty sure it's Najal. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Najal, the Storm Runner. But you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. That's what I care about. The second ability, I don't even read it. I don't even fucking care, man. I don't even care. Orvar, the all form, kind of can one way of copying Stella Lee. It's it's okay, which once again, I don't know, it might even be like a win all or a win more or not even just relevant in the deck at all. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. I mean, I guess when if I draw out the entire deck and have infinite mana, I can just literally cast all the spells, and yeah. But by that point, well, I guess it's another way of, you just make a bunch of Stella Lees, and they have all trample and haste potentially. I don't know. It might add up in the end. I mean, literally, it's a fun game. I mean, it's like, once again, it's puzzle pieces to put together. It's an equation, and I've only tested this deck out once. Oh well, I've only tested out, like, I guess on like play testing against my other decks or whatever. Never with other people. And maybe I'll play test it before ending the video or whatever. But Veyran, Voice of Duality, Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Veyran gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's cool, whatever. And that's the other ability is actually more important. If casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So with Kiki-Jiki, if you have Veyran out, and you can just, and then you also are targeting with the sorceries or instant spells that target Stella, they can also target Kiki-Jiki as well, because it's triggering an additional time. Archmage Emeritus, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card, draw out your entire deck, with her ability of copying all the time. This is one of the examples of, and it's an instant as well. So I could literally draw out in my entire deck before the previous, whoever's the turn before, whoever is to the right of me or whatever. If we're playing, what is it, clockwise? Or is it count? I don't fucking remember. You to your left, whatever. Would it be? So I don't know. Once again, it's like, it's 12 o'clock mean, because then that's, I guess, I don't even, wasn't that, or clock? I mean, obviously makes clock. Obviously is up or north or whatever. So it'd be against me, like on the other side of me. I don't fucking know. Anyway, it's to the left of me or whatever. Anyway, so. Cerulean Wisp, target creature becomes blue until end of turn, whatever. Untap that creature. So, and then you just draw your deck out. And it's an instant too, so that's pretty cool. And it's only one mana. That's crazy, man. I should mention the CMCs of these cards, but I'm just fucking not going to. Unless I feel like it, I guess. Epic Experiment. This one, exile the top X cards of your library. You may cast instant and sorcery spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Put all cards exiled this way that weren't cast into your graveyard. That's just pretty much it's kind of a finisher of sorts. If I have infinite mana and I have that in my hand, I could probably cast out all of my instant and sorcery spells once again, and blah blah blah. Gandalf, Friend of the Shire, he's got flash, but he also can, once again, his ability is just like Najal. You may cast sorcery spells, so they had flash. And then I don't really have the other ability, the ring temperature. I don't have any, as far as I know. Anyway, Suspicious Bookcase, target creature can't be blocked, just another rogue's passage of sorts. Fury of the Horde, this is pretty cool. You may remove 2 red cards in your hand from the game rather than pay Fury of the Horde's mana cost. So and its ability, untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. So as far as I know, once again, you can untap Stella Lee after you attack with her. I mean, hopefully you can. And then untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, I mean, you can literally just keep uncopying or copying this spell, so you can just attack infinitely as long as Stella Lee can, survive it, I guess. Great Train Heist. As far as it's explained to me, once when you pay for whatever the modules or whatever, you can then copy whatever module you paid for over and over again. As far as I know, I could be wrong. It still doesn't necessarily matter. It's not the worst card. It's another way of, it's a finisher, I guess. Oh yeah, it's the first one. Untap all creatures you control. If it's your combat phase, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. So once again, just like Fury of the Horde. Hellkite Charger, I'm pretty sure is whenever it attacks, you may pay 7. If you do untap all attacking creatures, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. It's quasi. I mean, it kind of, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, maybe I'll switch it out with something else, but maybe it makes sense. But right now, it seems like kind of a bulky card, but it allows me to attack an additional time at least once, but I might be able to do it more than once. Overpowering Attack, untap all creatures you control that attack this turn. If it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase, followed by an additional main phase. So a lot of these are wording. You have to do it at the right time. Relentless Assault, untap all creatures that attack this turn. After this main phase, there's an additional combat phase, followed by an additional main phase. A lot of these cards do the same thing. Once I pick you have to play Savage Beating only during your turn and only during combat. So it has to be during a combat phase. And I choose untap all creatures you control, and after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. But you could literally do both. I mean, theoretically, do both. Creatures you control gain double strike until end of your turn. So if you wanted to, and then seize the day. I mean, you just infinitely do it, and then you can't. It's whatever's necessary. But there's also you might be able to copy. With the Veyron, for example, untap target creature. Well, that's actually maybe not. Maybe that's not actually correct. But anyway, untap target creature. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase, and you get a second chance to do it with flashback. We got removal. Sometimes I just don't have all the cards that are available. Like Blasphemous Act, for example. I just happen to have an extra copy. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna throw it in there. Nice little defense. In case like you're all I'm getting fucked up or whatever, and I need to clear the board or whatever. Or it could be a potential finisher or whatever. Just clean the board state so I can plow through or whatever. I mean, even if I don't have trample or whatever. Swiftfoot Boots, protect Stella Lee and potentially anybody else. Hexproof and Haste. Does cost 1 mana, but Command Tower, typical for a command deck or commander deck. That I mean, I don't even have it in any mono green deck. I'm probably not gonna have it because it's just like might as well just be a basic land or whatever. But maybe not. I don't know. Ferrous Lake, I just added that. Typically, once again, even 2-color decks, I typically don't really do too much because it's just unless it's like it depends on the situation. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should. I don't know. But Rogue's Passage, yep, obvious. And then I have a little bit more. Definitely a little bit more in terms of the CMC for red than blue. So, but at the same time though, blue is pretty. You gotta if you're gonna do obviously 1 or 2 colors, or if you're gonna do basic lands or whatever, then yeah. But at the same time though, obviously maybe if I can afford the other lands or whatever, or pull them out of other decks, I'm probably not gonna do that. But I think 2-color. If you're doing 2 colors, I think basic lands should be fine. Depends on the situation, obviously. Balmor, Battlemage Captain, just literally and just in case, so you can throw trample on all your fucking creatures, or at least on Stella Lee, just by casting at least 1 spell, instant or sorcery spell specifically. I guess ramp like a motherfucker. Like I said, Arcane Signet, that's pretty typical. Desperate Ritual, it's 2 for 3. To a 1 colorless and a red mana for 3 red mana. Fellwar Stone, and it's also it's an arcane or an instant, so that's also a reason why I'm putting it in there. Boosts up that getting Stella to get doing 3 spells in 1 turn or whatever, or even once again jumping into that her second ability to that, or the first ability into the second ability or whatever. Fellwar Stone, why the fuck not? Goblin Electromancer, instant sorcery spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast, great. Haughty Djinn, instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I mean, his other ability is irrelevant. I don't fucking even. I mean, it helps, I guess, or whatever. Equal to instant sorcery spell, or its power is equal to instant sorcery cards in my graveyard. For Haughty Djinn. Hidden Strings, I fucking honestly one of my favorite fucking cards of all fucking time. Hidden Strings is so badass, dude. Holy fuck! If you do this right, you can fuck the game up, dude. And I've done anyway. I mean this, and I'll explain it in another deck, maybe. Definitely for in another deck. But this deck, I mean, once again, you may tap or untap target permanent, and then you may tap or untap another permanent. So this allows me to do infinite mana. Allows me to do like I can tap out people. I can, dude. It's holy shit. And once again, Cipher, so I can do it again and again. Then you may exile this card. Spell card embedded on a creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, that its controller may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. So that's just fucking cool as fuck, dude. Izzet Signet? Oh, cast a copy of the encoded. Yeah, cast it. You can literally cast it. I mean, I don't know. Once again, I don't know. It's saying cast a copy. So that's just like, that's kind of complicated a little bit, but it says cast, so I don't know. Anyway. But anyway, it's a copy anyway. I know. Izzet Signet, typical. I want to throw in the talisman or whatever. I just don't have one right now. I'd probably switch out one of these fucking more generic ones like Mind Stone or whatever. Probably the Prismatic Lens maybe. But Prismatic Lens might help me more than, I don't know. So Rel, I really only care for pretty much for the instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. All right, a flame, one for 2, and then you add another one, which I won't be. It's literally just a 1 for 2, but it's a sorcery. Sometimes I see them as like fucking matches, like Rite of Flame or Desperate Ritual. They're just like matches, dude. I'm not an arsonist. I can start a fire, dude. I started a fire in like downpouring rain once. At a fucking festival. It was fucking crazy. We smoked a bunch of hash after that. It was just, it was awesome. Anyway, yeah, Ruby Medallion, Sapphire Medallion. Did I mention it was a festival? If I didn't, it doesn't matter, but it does, I guess, if anyone cared. Anyway, Seething Song. This one apparently, yeah, 850 now. That is crazy, man. Holy shit. Back in the day, I had an Eldrazi deck and a Dragon deck, separate decks, and literally it was Desperate Ritual, Seething Song, and then I think even Gyre Surge or something like that. It's like a 4 red and you get 7. But then I read also just recently, just today, you can only cast it on artifact or creature spells, I think. So it really doesn't help for this deck, so I took it out. I was gonna do it just to fucking pay homage to my past decks or whatever. But I can't once again believe that fucking Seething Song is now 850. That is insane to me. Seeming Spirit Guide, I pulled one, so, and once again, it's just like, fuck it. You know, sometimes once again, you just need that little match to get the whole thing started. Soul Ring, Storm Killing Artist. This is perfect whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell. The copying part, once again, create a treasure token. That is insanity. So you're telling me I can get infinite token or infinite treasures? That's crazy, man. Reaver Cleaver, not bad. Or the Reaver Cleaver. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, create that many treasure tokens. Pretty classic, you know, once again, throw it on your, that's your little Voltron section. For Stella Lee, Thought Vessel, and once again, potentially giving you infinite treasure tokens. Treasure. Well, they are tokens, I guess. Anyway, Thought Vessel, why not? Thread Dynamo. I mean, that's kind of like, I guess, later game. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less cast when you do for Thunderclap Drake. A lot of these instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less cast are mostly all 2-drops. I do have, I think, the Djinn, the Haughty Djinn or whatever, I think is a 3-drop. So we are going back up because that was a huge list. Bond of Passion. This is apparently theft, but I guess gain control of target creature until end of turn. You can just literally target Stella Lee, apparently, which is fucking hilarious. So I'm gain control of my own creature, untap that creature, because it doesn't say opponent, untap that creature. I mean, you can look at other tech decks. Apparently that's, I mean, this could be completely irrelevant otherwise, but untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Bond of Passion deals 2 damage to any other target. So you can just infinitely ping people to death with that, copying it over and over again. Insurrection, I guess you can keep doing that over and over again, but I guess it's just like you're doing it already, so you might as well. This is a nice little finisher, I guess. Especially if you're drawing out the entire deck, you can just, that's one way of taking all the creatures away from everybody, at least for the turn, to so they're open. This one, create a treasure token. Once again, they're all gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Create a treasure token. It's a 4-drop, but whatever. Mark, I didn't say, so Bond of Passion, I'm sorry, was the first card that would ping people for 2 when you copied over and over again. Insurrection, that was untap, or you untap all creatures and then gain control of all of them. Involuntary Employment, that's the untap that a creature, gain control of them, and then it gains haste until end of turn, create a treasure token. Mark of Mutiny. This one, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter on it onto it and untap. That creature gains haste until end of turn. If they thwart me, at least have Stella's at least probably going to have infinite counters on it, or whatever is allowed to be said. Mob rule, you can literally just do both. Gain control of all creatures with power 4 or greater until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste until end of turn. And gain control of all creatures with power 3 or less until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste until end of turn. You just do the second ability first and the first ability second for copying. You only get to do it once, but you can just keep. I guess once again. Depending on the situation, you might need to have to copy a random spell over and over again. So you just keep doing the second ability for mob rule over and over again until you do the first ability when you're done as a closer, whatever. Portent of Betrayal, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Scry 1, another way of looking through the entire deck. Scry. I can scry. I mean, literally, I can just literally look through the entire deck, man, which is kind of cool. It might not be the best card. There are some cards that are not the best for this, in terms of speed or whatever, but press into service, support 2. This also gives me +1/+1 counters on up to 2. It's got support 2 on it. So you can put up to 2 1/1 counters on up to, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So if you have support 2, then you can do that twice. So a +1/+1 counter on 1, or a +1/+1. Anyway, you have the choice of putting a +1/+1 counter on 2 creatures, or putting a +2 or a +1/+1. Having the ability of putting a +1/+1 counter on 1 creature twice, or putting 2 1/1 counters. God damn it, dude! You get what I mean. I hope. But yeah, you infinite do that. But gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. And also, I mean, just think about it, I can actually also steal other people's creatures, depending on if I'm able to trigger the ability twice or whatever. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Add 2 mana of any one color. That's Traitorous Greed. Twisted Fealty, this one pings people to death when you copy it infinitely. But gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Create a wicked roll token attached to up to 1 target creature. And then if you control another roll on it, put that one into the graveyard. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. When this aurora is put into the graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. That's for the wicked roll. So, like I said, the most important thing is you're going to be constantly putting wicked roll tokens onto Stella Lee, which when you remove a roll, it says, it goes to the graveyard, and then when this aurora is put into a graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life, so you can just ping people to death infinitely. Vengeful Possession, this one gets you exactly the card you need. So gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So that one, I mean, you have to discard cards, but you are specifically looking for a card as fast as possible. And you're like, I need a, you just, it's very impulsive for sure. So we are now on to the tutor. Muddle the Mixture. Transmute. This is that's what I use it for typically, not the counter target instant or sorcery spell, but I guess you could if you wanted to. But the transmute ability, discard this card when you pay 2 blue mana and a 1 colorless. Search your library for a card with the same converted mana cost as this card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library, play only as a sorcery. Same converted mana cost as this card. So you can, yeah. Is it really fucking such a for amount of cost as this card? Okay, so it has to be a 2-drop. Anything that's 2-drop. I thought it also had to be an instant or sorcery. That's pretty cool. It could be any card, I guess. That's crazy to me. Discard this card. Search for a card with the same converted cost as this card. Whoa, huh? I didn't know that. Interesting. Solve the equation. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card. Reveal. Put it in your hand. Typically it's in the tutor section. So that's another tutor. I think there are cheaper tutors than a 3-drop or whatever. And then step through wizard cycling. I have plenty of wizards in this deck, so search your library for a wizard card, reveal, and put it in your hand and shuffle. And some of these wizards might help me or whatever. Maybe not. I don't fucking know. I'm already seeing 2 right now. Fucking A. Okay, so real quick, just gonna get the fucking. Before we get to the untap tokens, Shark Typhoon. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is the spell's mana value. That's pretty cool. It's obviously you have to cast it, not copy. So, but if you're drawing the entire deck out, pretty good. Having a bunch of fucking flying sharks to attack people. And I don't know, I might be able to have haste on all of them or whatever. I'm drawing the entire deck out and playing everything. I probably will have haste on all of them probably in some way. And I have ways of doing that, I guess. As I've mentioned, I guess. Whenever you cast and then for Talrand, Sky Summoner. I mean, not the best, I guess, for a copy deck, but not bad to have, I guess, depending on if you can draw out your entire deck. You play him first, just like you'd play the Guttersnipe as well, before you're casting all your instant and sorcery spells, and then you get a bunch of. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue drake creature token with flying. Not too bad. I mean, once again, it'd be better in like maybe a storm deck for sure. Storm deck. I mean, can you? I think you can do. Can you do a storm? Are there storm creature spells, or is storm only on instant? And are they on temporary cards? Oh, I don't. They probably that would make sense. They have like other ways of. Anyway. Getting back to the. Untap. We're on, so Dramatic Reversal. This is fucking probably one of the most banger cards out of all of them. This gives you, untap all non-land permanents you control. That's for only 2-drop. That's such a crazy card. Untap all non-land permanents. Oh, it says non-land. Oh, I didn't realize that. I always thought it said all permanents. It doesn't matter. I mean, it still works. Sorry. Maybe there's a better card. I might have. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I guess it matters, I guess. Not as powerful of a card or whatever, but it still helps actually untap all permanent. Yeah, that's actually not that. That's actually, because you're not really getting anything other than untapping and you're copying a spell over and over again, which may be beneficial depending on the situation, but not actually the best. Never mind. Okay, this one actually is a little better. Infuse, untap target artifact, creature, or land, and if you can trigger an ability twice, then you can draw a bunch of get infinite land or whatever. You can also untap your mana rocks as well with this card too. I mean, once again, if you can trigger trigger your activated ability in additional time for Stella. But then this one's not as good. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. But I mean, you can play this literally because it's an instant. I didn't realize so. It actually is not that bad at all. You play this right before your turn, so you can just draw your entire end step, someone else's end step or whatever. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Man, that's crazy, man. I mean, I guess you once again would have to cast 3 spells on their turn. That's a lot of mana asking for it. And they all have to be instants too to be on someone else's turn. Anyway, Anyway, Jolt, tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land, and then draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Just, I guess it's like another Infuse. I mean, they're literally, they cost the exact same, so that's hilarious. Whatever, I mean, it happens. I mean, Land War Elves, come on, plenty of clones. Refocus, untap target creature, untap target creature, draw a card. This is, once again, a way for sure to draw out your deck. You got Title Bore. You may return an island you control to its owner's hand instead of paying Title Bore's mana cost. It is an instant. You can tap or untap target creature. I mean, there are benefits to copying a spell over and over again. With this deck, it's just, they aren't as exciting if you don't have the entire engine together. You want, like, Refocus is a really good card. Just, it's literally obviously, if you have under the right conditions, I guess, and you cast 3 spells at the same time, then yes, obviously. So it's not, there are some, but all you need, once again, I guess, besides the other 2 cards or whatever, but like, it's generally just Refocus and Stella Lee Wildcard for this, and you can draw out your entire deck. I'm gonna have to look. There might be some better ones. I did look up, and once again, there might be better ones out there or whatever. But Title Bore, once again, is it Title Bore? Yes, okay. Tap or untap, yep. Then Toils of Night and Day, tap or untap target permanent, then tap or untap target another target permanent. You know, that's pretty good for. It's just like Hidden Strings. It's an instant as well. And then you got Twitch. This is just like Refocus. You may tap or untap. Well, a little bit better. You may tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land, and then draw a card. And then Unity of Purpose, support 2. If I didn't already explain that already, but and then untap each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. So put counters on Stella Lee or whoever, and then you untap whoever. So this guy actually could help you untap multiple creatures with her copy ability. I think we got everywhere. It went everywhere. I think I'm just double checking. And once again, I'm sure this deck is not perfect. It's not perfect in the slightest by any means. I do like it though, because it does go off pretty fast. I don't know. I don't know if it's I would say like a 4.3 maybe. I'll play test it. I should have play tested my last deck in the last video. I just didn't realize you could do that. But just showing the mana values and stuff. Once again, I try to stick. I mean, my budgeting is more not exactly in the how expensive or inexpensive a card is. I mean, I'd like to budget in that way, making it pretty efficient, very cheap and affordable. But also, once again, in terms of mana value, we're looking at 2s and 3s. I mean, I only got a couple of 7, 8s, and 6s. I mean, I try to, once again, just in case anything bad happens, but also, in late game, you're able to play more cards easily without too much issue. But also, very early game, you can, go off pretty quickly, especially if you have so much fucking ramp. So I guess in terms of color costs, there's definitely a little bit more red, but blue is not too far behind. Like I said, land and ramp. Well, ramp is predominant. Once again, I guess I'm a ramp dude. But I do, once again, I love monolith ramp or monolith dredge. So, and if there's any card or any decks that don't use mana or land, it's interesting to me. I like mill. I don't even mind mill happening to me. I think it's awesome. It's just another way of winning. In fact, it's the same way, even though I wish 10's a little low, especially for commander. That should probably be 20 maybe, but I digress there. I would say once again, it's predominantly ramping and you're just untapping. You're just using Stella Lee's second ability to untap. I mean, this is pretty much kind of just like my other deck, Reese the Redeemed, where I'm constantly untapping shit. I mean, it's almost thinking about it, it's literally exactly what we're doing here, but now in red and blue instead. That's funny to think about. Didn't even realize that. So we're gonna, I guess, play test for real quick if we can do that. So this is my hand. I mean, with only one land, that's not the best. So we're gonna do it one more time. That's not much better. Well, I guess you only get one free one. So I guess we're just gonna keep it then. I do have a Blasphemous Act in case, it's that bad. But say it's my turn, I draw a card. Drop that. Okay, next turn. I got Rite of Passage, which doesn't really help me right now. Well, actually, it could help me right now, actually. Do I want to do it? We're going to do it. Fuck it, man. Just so I can drop that. I'm going to then throw this. So this is turn 2. This is how desperate we are. We are now super desperate on 3. Yeah, this sucks what's happening right now. It shouldn't be happening. We're on turn 3, or turn 4, actually. Bummer, I think. We're going to drop Stella. With boom, boom, boom. And then we're now on turn 5, I guess, because I can't really do anything. So we got that fourth mana source. Okay, so I mean, now by this point, let's see what we can do here. Do I drop that? That would make sense. It's the third. It would also make it the third spell, but. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have, well, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have been a bad idea to actually hold on to Rite of Flame, maybe. I was just a little ants in my pants kind of situation. But that's okay. So we are going to... I want to do this. This is turn 5 right now. I want to be able to do this. So that's going to do 2 then. I might have to wait until one more turn. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunate. So it's not CEDH. I mean, but I mean, definitely next turn we're probably gonna be going off. For sure. Unless once again someone can cancel out my stuff. I have a couple. I mean, even if someone stops me, I'm probably gonna go off the next turn. So it's now I think we're on turn 6 actually now. So all right. We need to cast 3 spells, and with her first ability, we can possibly drop out or, draw another card or whatever when you cast your second spell. So we are going to, I will do blue. Actually, fuck, man, that's actually fucked. I might be fucked here, actually. Son of a bitch. Thinking about this. Untap each creature. Yeah. See, I don't want. This is the reason why I didn't want to necessarily play test, because once again, there's just so much. I have to think. There's a lot of thinking involved to get to where I want to get to. Because once again, her third, you have to do 3 spells, so you probably want even cheaper fucking spells or whatever. I was thinking about dropping like 0 drops in this deck, but I just didn't want to. Like, it just be like. They're only useful just for being 0 drops, and otherwise they're just kind of useless. They don't really fit the theme otherwise. I mean, someone might have already figured out the equation while I was talking. I'm not, I'm just talking right now. But okay. So I technically can't play those 2 at the same. I can't. I mean, it kind of got really. So maybe I should actually do 15 and 15 for land, for islands, or maybe this is one of those cases where you definitely are going to want to have 2 colored lands. I didn't think it was necessarily as big of a deal. I mean, honestly, I have about 7 mana, but only 1 blue, which definitely fucked me over. I definitely think I'm gonna have to switch out the 2 islands. So I mean, good thing I did play test this, because right now I'm kind of like a little fucked. I mean, I have options, but I mean, I guess I could do Arcane Bombardment, and that would definitely bring me into turn 7 though. But that would at least give me Rite of Passage, which would be 1. Sorry. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna. Should I end it on such a fucking? I wanted it to end on like a. It's going off. It's going off. But so we're going to actually real quickly. I'm going to back to deck. We're gonna actually switch it to. I'm thinking going to 15 and 15. I think that actually really fucked me over. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this is gonna fuck me over now. But I'm thinking we're gonna test it real quick. Oop. Fuck that up. We're gonna see. We're just gonna see here, man. Super red right now. Holy fuck. Okay. Do I really want to go there? Well, in the Fellwar, you have to assume that someone's gonna have fucking the color I need. I'm just gonna keep it, because that's a pretty good hand. I'm not gonna lie. We'll turn one. Oh, I was gonna draw. So there we go. We're cooking now, baby. I think that was turn one. Turn two. We are now dropping the island. I'm gonna drop down a Fellwar Stone. You're supposed to tap before you play the spell. Whatever. Turn three. I can now play Stella. Oh, this is now turn three. I'm also gonna drop a land. I mean, maybe I should play the Rogue's Passage instead. But this is turn three right now. We are now on to turn four. Drawing a card. Don't want to fucking use that Thran right now. Well, okay. Here we go. So I think I'm going to drop the Rogue's Passage maybe instead, because I want to... It's looking like I'm probably going to... Well, I got Trample, so... Move back to hand, actually. We're going to drop that. Boom. Boom. That's too close. This is one reason why I hate doing the play testing, but anyway, we are still on turn four. I have 5 mana. Okay, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Do Seething Song. Give me 5, 6, 7 mana now. That's one spell. I'm gonna... Oh, shit. If I do that, then I lose my blue. Once again, the blue... I'm being fucked by the blue again. So once again, maybe honestly, this is my lesson of learning. You do need... Fuck me, man. That sucks dick. I hate that. Or personally, I mean, I guess... I don't know. Anyway. So, I mean, if I do that, I have 7, I can then still, I still could do that. So I think I guess I'm going to have to go that, and that is, I guess, an example of, I can knock somebody out, but, I mean, I was hoping to fucking be able to combo, into a bunch of other shit. But, I mean, literally, Unity of Purpose is almost the exact same as, Press into Service. Almost, I mean, Unity is a little bit better, but depends on the situation. Anyway, I'm going to do. So if I had, I'll just leave. Yeah, I'll just do that. So 2 to drop down Balmor to drop. Balmor. Now I did that. I think I'm going to do that, but it's moving to exile, and that's because of her ability. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile top card, and you can use it until your next turn. I don't really need that. I'm going to then, I guess, with the 5 mana with Seething Song, I'm going to do Press into Service and Press into Service support 2. Put a 1/1 counter, or I'm going to be doing it twice. Put a 1/1 counter on up to each of up to two target creatures. I can literally put it on Stella and Balmor. And because I casted a sorcery, all my creatures have now trample. And I guess I get the +1, but they're going to have infinite because I can just keep copying. You know, I tap Stella Lee's ability. This will be targeting her, which will untap her, and then once again, and it's complicated. It's like on a stack, I guess. Just keep copying it over and 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 over. So now they're both infinite. Well, they also have counters on them too. They're not, those are staking on the creatures until next turn even. So I can at least take 2 people out probably. I mean, you can then, I guess, they gain haste. So I do that a bunch of times. And then the last time I do it, I actually do it on my Balmor because he came out just this turn. So on, I guess, turn 4, is it turn 4? Or is it turn 3? I don't fucking remember. But I'm killing 2 people at least. And I now have 1 person to deal with. So yeah. Now, I mean, it depends on what they can do next turn, but now it's just them against me. 1 person against me. It goes in the graveyard. Sorry, I'm fucking like... Oh, yeah, okay, so it is actually turn 4. All right. Now we're on to turn 5. So, I mean, they're infinite now. I mean, I literally could do, I guess, Unity of Purpose again. I mean, I'm just gonna see where we can go here. I mean, once again, might as well. Thran Dynamo, which drop? I don't know. I should do that. I don't know if so. We're gonna do that instead of that. Fuck it. I mean, I guess maybe it depends on the situation. Maybe actually probably be smarter to just in case. I guess. Well, I can't even afford it. Can I? Well, actually, no. That's not a bad idea. Just in case. Well, it doesn't even. What am I doing? What am I fucking doing? What am I doing, man? Literally, just drop Rogue's Passage. Make her fucking unblockable. Bam, they can't stop me. Done. Duh. Jesus. Okay. So, I mean, I was hoping to be able to do some crazier stuff, I guess, to be able to take everyone out. I guess I may need more ways of drawing, but this doesn't, it's not bad. You know what I mean? It did go off, and it's only turn 5. I mean, if it's CEDH, I don't think it's fast enough. I think it's very clunky still. Still got to work on this deck, but I do still like it, and I would definitely play it, because obviously the only way to get better is by playing it. But we'll leave it at that. I guess if you got this far, thanks for watching. Once again, this is not me going like, this is the best deck in the world, and if you don't believe, you know what I mean, like, test this deck out, you got to buy it now, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, this deck is, I'm not the best player. I've been in only a handful of tournaments or whatever. So, I mean, I've won some games. I've definitely won some games for sure, but, I've lost plenty of times too. So, and for me personally, when I make a deck, it's a story, man. It's like storyboard. You know what I mean? I'm putting a story together rather than I actually have more fun building the deck than even playing against people. Like, it's fun to, because once again, like, a lot of times, but once when you get into CEDH rack, I mean, it can feel like a coin flip sometimes. But depending on who you're playing with, they have like, it can be like one of those like fucking Super Saiyan kind of shit where it's just like counter, and then, like, just, I don't know. I'm not at that level yet. I'd love to be. Because that's the like, you expect that your deck is gonna just be so fast that you're gonna move so fast that no one can stop you or whatever. But like, I think a seasoned player will eventually start figuring out, well, let's just see other people pop off and stop them. And then hopefully, and then with that being said, hopefully you can, you know, pop off, or, you know, whatever your way of winning or trying to win or whatever is. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Thanks for watching once again. Cheers. Enjoy playing and building and whatnot. Find some people to play with if you can. And if you can't, you know what I mean? Building is fun as hell, dude.